Peter Schiff, who got some acclaim because he predicted was one of the, frankly, many people who predicted the meltdown, but of course was sort of ignored by the media. I mean, Rubini being another, Atrios being another, was on CNN, I guess with Cornel West, trying to argue that the 1% gave workers weekends and child labor laws. And, you know, good for Schiff. He's been down to Zuccotti Park. But he seems to think, where is this? He seems to think that 1% was responsible for child labor laws and weekends and 40-hour work weeks. I got news for you. Louis Brandeis was not a 1%er. The Supreme Court, which ultimately, I mean, I guess to the extent you might say, like, you know, at the time, people who made it to the Supreme Court were elites. Well, I guess. But these laws were passed and basically ran through the Supreme Court under the threat of court packing by FDR. And these were all presented from a very progressive legal position, that outcomes were important, and that the so-called freedom of contract, words, incidentally, that do not exist in the Constitution, should not be used to keep people from unionizing, negotiating with employees, a minimum wage, limited amount of work hours, child labor laws. This is absolutely bizarre. The idea that anyone could think that it was the 1% who showered upon the peasants. The idea that you don't have to work until if you're only 12 years old. Why, just because you're starving and the company wants you to work 80 hours a work week, and if you don't, we'll fire you. The 1% said, oh, let's be benevolent. I'm glad he said that, because it just shows people how deranged these libertarians are. No, a 40-hour work week, child labor laws, weekends, overtime, minimum wage, safety standards, can't lock your workers, shirtwaist triangle factory. These were not bestowed upon us by the 1%. It was taken by people like unions, people like Brandeis, by people who feel that workers deserve some protections. Labor has value. And so I guess the answer is wrong.